I sada je najbitnije da rat što pre stane, a ne da se preciziraju detalji svih mogućih rješenja. Jer o detaljima se može...
Mi smo spremni da potpuno zablokiramo sve moguće veze, sve ono što smo znali da eventualno ide kao neka vrsta, čak i humanitarne pomoći, da smo spremni da se potpuno odreknemo rukovodstva Republike Srpske.
Bilo je potrebno da mi nastupamo kao Republika Srpska i da štitimo svoje interese.
Njima je bilo veoma teško da potpišu takav jedan sporazum, jer on u suštini znači političko samoubistvo.
There was one man powerful enough to save Karadzic.
Mi smo zamolili patrijarha da tu bude kao dokaz neke savjesti i kao moguće alibi za rukovodstvo Republike Srpske da prihvate naš predlog.
Razlika je neminovno da bude među ljudima, ali one da ne budu, kažem, takve da se izgubi iz vida opšti interes.
The Bosnian Serb leaders surrendered.
We consider President Milosevic's announcement yesterday that he can now negotiate for the Bosnian Serbs something of a procedural breakthrough.
In fact, we knew that we had entered the realm of a serious negotiation for the first time.
As American aircraft pounded the Bosnian Serbs, the American Assistant Secretary of State shuttled round the warring capitals.
President Clinton has set us here today on a mission of peace in a moment of war.
Holbrooke's goal was to persuade the warring presidents to come to a peace conference. To the Serbs, he offered a form of recognition of their mini-state in Bosnia, Republika Srpska.
There's one Bosnia. It's got two parts. Everyone agreed it would have two parts. Sarajevo's concession was to let one part be called Republika Srpska.
In return, he promised the Bosnian Muslims that US troops would enforce a peace deal. American shuttle diplomacy was backed by American bombing. NATO planes destroyed the Bosnian Serb communications network. They couldn't even make telephone calls. President Milosevic had to do something. He met Holbrooke in Belgrade.
Milosevic says to us, we've got to stop the bombing.
He was challenging Holbrooke's manhood by saying, you're in charge of that country, Ambassador Holbrooke. Can't you, make the bombing stop? Can't you do it?
Holbrooke said that first the shelling of Sarajevo must stop.
The airport has to be open.
Milosevic told him he should talk to the men responsible.
Predsjednik Milošević i ja smo bili u razgovoru sa američkom stranom i obavijestili smo ih da ukoliko žele mogu da se sretnu sa Karadžićem i Mladićem.
Holbrooke looked over and said, well, where are they? He said, they're in a villa about 200 meters away.
Milosevic decided to put Holbrooke on the spot. The Americans had pointedly refused to meet Karadzic and Mladic, who'd been charged with war crimes.
That's one of the few times in this whole negotiating process where I thought Dick Holbrooke was shook.
President Milosevic has made some suggestions, and we're going to take a quick break to caucus among ourselves.
The Americans decided to eat their words. They would meet the Bosnian Serbs.
So we said to Milosevic, wait a minute, we want to set down some ground rules. Number one, no historical lectures, no bullshit.
When the Bosnian Serbs arrived, the Americans told them they must withdraw their heavy weapons from the Sarajevo hills.
Mi nismo mogli da prihvatimo u cijelosti taj ultimatum u tom trenutku jer bi smo izgubili Sarajevo i oko 150.000 naših Srba bi bilo izloženo pokolju, izloženo divljem nastupu muslimanskih vojnika.
To je jedna besmislica. Zamislite, nije završen rat, a da mi odmičemo naše teško oružje kojim branimo narod.
Mladić is getting angrier and angrier, and finally he erupts in another one of his statements about the Serb people, the Serb nation.
Samo im je srpski narod toliko veći trn u oku koliko ovo duže traje, jer je ovo za njih katastrofa, da su sila number one i da trebaju da pregaze svet kao da uzmu četku pa ga prefarbaju u boju koja njima odgovara, a nisu još to raščistili sa nekim malim srpskim narodom.
Now Holbrooke put Milosevic to the test.
I said, Mr. President, you told us we were here to be serious. If we're not serious, we have to go.
They walked out.
Why don't we go outside? Yeah.
Milosevic reminded Mladić that if they stayed out, NATO would destroy his army.
Ja se bojim da je general Ratko Mladić, koga inače cijenim kao oficira i kao čovjeka, nažalost nakon 3,5 godine rata potpuno izgubio kontakt sa realnošću.
The Americans were called back in.
I kada smo dobili garancije da i muslimani moraju da povuku teško oružje i kada smo dobili garancije da muslimani ne smiju da nas napadnu, i tada smo postigli neku saglasnost.
The Serbs withdrew the heavy weapons that had crippled Bosnia's capital. The Americans called off their airstrikes. All the Americans needed to start their peace conference was a ceasefire in the rest of Bosnia. The Muslims and their Croat ally scrambled to grab territory while they still could.
Zapravo Srbi su još uvijek imali više od 49% u svojim rukama. Jasno je da kako gospodin Izetbegović, tako i ja, da smo smatrali da taj poraz koji su Srbi doživjeli treba iskoristiti.
In the west of Bosnia, Croat artillery and Muslim infantry sliced through Serb lines. The conquering armies drove a new wave of Serb refugees into Serbia and Montenegro.
Prije svega Ameriku animirali sa činjenicom da bi taj veliki egzodus naroda radikalizovao političku atmosferu i to više ne bi zavisilo od odluke bilo kojeg rukovodstva, nego bi objektivno događaji tekli prema tome da se mora ući u rat.
Holbrooke took the warning seriously, but now that the Muslims had the bit between their teeth, it would be difficult to persuade them to stop. To put his case, he chose a public display of American friendship for Bosnia, the swearing in of a new ambassador.
And I will faithfully and well discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
After the swearing in, I asked if General Don Carrick and I could see President Izetbegović alone.
We were at that time in the negotiations that if we did not get a ceasefire, that we might not have this moment again for some time.
To persuade Bosnia's president to stop his army, the intelligence officer painted a grim picture.
We were concerned that the Serbs were now reinforcing their area from Sarajevo and others where weapons had been withdrawn.
I said, Mr. President, they're going to be able to punch holes in your lines because they're too thin.
Vojne akcije su s naše strane išle kod nas jako dobro. Nama vojnici su procjenjivali da ne bi trebalo zaustaviti vojnu akciju.
I said, well, you are shooting craps with the destiny of your country.
The Bosnian president returned to his office to consult his generals. Was it possible the Americans were deceiving him?
Ja sam rekao da mi imamo snage da idemo dalje i da ne treba prihvatiti primirje,
jer mi smo u tom trenutku imali i snage i sredstva za realizaciju tih zadataka koji smo već sebi unaprijed postavili.